Hey, it's me, Monte. Welcome back from spring break. It's been 2 whole weeks since I've seen you. Welcome back. Thanks for joining. I'm Monte. I teach first grade. It's my second year in first grade, 20th year teaching, yada, yada, yada. So it's our first week back. It is Monday, April 10th, and we came in. We were tired. We were missing 4. So we had 20 in the room. Ended the day with 19, not knowing that one went home, because nobody tells you until you're kind of like, hey, where did this kid go? And then you have to track them down, like, where did they go? It'd be nice if they said, hey, whoever went home. But whatevs. So we had 20 in the room. They were tired, so they were quiet. They did everything. No one protested. No one said anything. They were here and they were working, which was fabulous. Let me show you what I planned. So I'm going to show you my slides, and then let me see, slides I did yesterday at 9 o'clock. I think it took about, I was only going to do Monday and then do today's and then do Tuesday, Wednesday, today, but I decided yesterday that I was going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so I have those days, and then Wednesday I'll do Thursday, Friday. So that way I'm done with the week. I keep my slides from last year, and so I just change things. You know, when you are a teacher, you find things that you want to change, things that didn't work, new things, and so I just plug those in. But for the most part, it's exactly the same. The kids' names changed, so I have to change my grouping, but that's what we are working with. That's what I work with. So I just pull up last year's. I have it numbered by week. I'm going to put them in folders by unit. That might be easier, I don't know. And so yesterday at 9 o'clock, I sat. It was Easter. We were home. Kids had crashed from sugar highs. So my kids were watching TV at 9 o'clock because they're all on vacation still. My husband and I came back. My kids have another week off. So they had no bedtime. Yay for them. So while they were watching TV, I was getting things ready for Monday, and it turned into getting things ready for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So let me show you what I planned and then show you what we got to, if that makes sense. This is my morning slide. So when they come in, there's a song playing, or I play a song. This is 15 minutes, it says, but I'm only playing the colored one. It talks about primary and secondary colors. Today is Monday, so we do Mystery Science Monday. It talked about extinct animals or endangered animals, and so that was our little come in, and we just relax for a little bit before we get started with the day. And then since today was our first day back, I gave them 5 minutes, but it turned into 10 minutes because my computer decided it was going to turn itself off and update. So I gave them time to sit and talk. So it was just, you sit with your friends and you talk about what you did, because they haven't seen each other for 2 weeks. So I always give them time to talk to each other, and that helps with the rest of the day, I feel, because they don't have to try to catch up with people because they've already had the time to share. And then after they shared, we did read to self. And so my friends that aren't independent readers, they come with me and they read by themselves to me. So they're reading independently and I ask them to read to me. I do have 2 friends that are not readers yet. They're probably beginning kindergarten. So we're focusing on, they know their letters, and we're just focusing on blending words. So I have 2 friends that are focusing on blending. And then I have 4 friends that are probably, I'm going to say, they're ready for unit 1 right now, unit 2 right now. And so that's what they're reading, that level. Sometimes I give them just unit 1 book and we're going to read the book. And so they're able to access those stories now, which everybody else, we're on pretty much almost unit 5. They're not able to access those stories, but they can get the unit 1 book. So that's what we do for read to self. Math, I can't show you the slide. Math was going to be whole group because we were making a clock, and so they made a clock. We cut it out. This is, I think, lesson 10 from Zern. So we cut them out, we numbered it, and then we colored each section. So we showed that there was 12 sections in our little tiny clock. I talked about, and we wrote the word face on it, so that way this is the clock face. And then we had our hands on our minute hand when they numbered it. So they wrote 12. right there. And then I had them get their minute hand, and we permanently glued it there because we were talking about the hour, saying o'clock. And so I had them permanently glue. So they glued the minute hand pointing straight up. And then on the minute hand, I had them write the 00, because when we're talking about minutes, I had them write the 00. When we're talking about minutes, that's o'clock right there. So I put the 00, and then I told them it's o'clock. And then with the hour hand, I just told them a time, and I had them place it on the correct time, and I walked around. So I said, you know, make it say 10 o'clock. And so then they had to put the hour hand, sorry, they had to put the hour hand pointing to the 10. Okay, change it to 7 o'clock. And so then they moved the hour hand to change it to pointing to the 7. So that's what we did for math, and then we did do Zern. So that was our math lesson, whole group. I'll probably do whole group telling time. I think it's going to work out well that way. So tomorrow we're going to do lesson 11, whole group, and then I'll see if I need to change anything. But I think for right now, finishing up this module, it's just going to be whole group lesson and then whole group Zern. Since they were in their seats doing Zern, I do songs as they come to the carpet songs, and I usually do it for like a minute. So this one's karaoke, so they have the words there to read it, and it's from the Beatles. And when they, you know, they should be moving along to the carpet when the song is finished. So things away almost to the carpet when the song is done. Then we had our phonemic awareness. They sit on the carpet, and then we do our phonemic awareness. We are doing unit 4, week 5, so we're almost done with our unit. And then we do our interactive read out loud. I did this the week of before we went on spring break because of Easter and everything, but I didn't finish it. I really didn't focus on it. So we went back and we're going to do this. And so it's going over cause and effect, retell a story. Characters change goes with the characters describing a character. First graders are able to describe a character. So that's what I focus on, is characters change as describing a character. And then it says tells a lesson of the text. Tell the lesson of the text. So from there, since we already read it, we listened to it on YouTube. So then we did our chart. And so here on our chart, it says the character and setting. And then it says retell. So we put everything in order. So this is right here, the first, second, third, and then over there goes fourth, fifth, and sixth. And then tomorrow I will write what they tell me to write for each picture before we do our reading for tomorrow. So usually with my interactive read out loud, we listen to it on YouTube, we just watch it. And then I read it going over just the questions that go with the lesson. And then we do like a picture walk. So I don't read it that many times. I don't read it 5 times. We watch it, I read it, and then we just do like a picture walk, or I just ask the questions that come with the lesson. And this is all from Kylie Barragon. So since we're on the carpet for a while, we did a brain break, and then we went on with our high frequency words. Today we just did this one. So I said the word, sounded it out, and then we wrote down how many sounds it had, and then we wrote down ound. So F-O-U-N-D. And so I told them this is a sound out one. So ow, they need to remember that O-U says ow. And then we just did with everything else, and we wrote down the sounds in each box. And then for favorite, we ran out of boxes, and so I had to write it down there. So tomorrow we'll do 2 words and sentences again, and then we'll do 2 words, and then since I'm missing some, I'll add them, and we'll do 2 words a day, and we'll write sentences for them tomorrow. Our phonics lesson for the week is the Y at the end that makes the E sound, or Mickey has the EY at the end that makes the E sound. And so that's our sound for the week, and it goes with our story. So this is from the Wonders Online. So I just use a snippet tool and I put it in, so that way I bring in our phonics to our phonics lesson. It shows that it goes with our book, our reading story of the week. And then after that, we went over our words. I sent them to the car, to their seats, and it doesn't have where it came from. I don't know. It was inside my folder from last year. So this is from some resource I found, and it goes over our sound of the week. And then what I have them do is we highlight the sound. And so happy, they highlighted just the Y. Key, we highlighted the E and the Y. So we did that with all of the sounds. And then I still have them cut and paste because I have quite a few friends that still need to work on cutting muscles, and so they do have to cut and paste, and I just walk around and I give them a star for this activity. It goes straight home. I don't collect it. Why? What's the purpose? Because we're connecting our sound to our letters, our phonics, and then we're doing some sorting just to have them pay attention. And also my main reason is for their cutting muscles. I have quite a few kids that they just can't, they need to build this up. So that's why I do this. It's more for their fine motor. Then after this, we did centers. And so I changed centers. So I have 2 computer centers, and then I have 2 working centers, I'll call it. My computer centers are Lexia and then ST Math. Why did I go back to ST Math? Because district was sending, this is how many puzzles you did, this is how much percent you've done. So if district is tracking it, I need to start doing it. I do assign it for homework like once a week, but that's not enough if district's going to be tracking it. So ST Math kind of went away because we were doing Zern, so that was their computer time, but I brought Zern, so they do Zern, word work, working on writing, and then they're doing Lexia. So I had 2 groups doing computer, and then I had word work, which was going over the sound that we were working on. So the Y at the end that makes the E sound. This is from the Humble Beginnings packet that I have for all the units. And then on the other side was our high frequency words, and they put them in a sentence. So that was word work because they're just writing down words. And then for working on writing, they were like working on a story map, and they had to write down pretty much our story from Too Many Carrots. And so they had to write through the characters, the setting, and then they had to write the story. And I told them this wasn't going to help them all that much because there's 6 of them, and right here we have 3. So they could come over here and look at it and then decide what was the beginning, the middle, and the end. And so they had to write sentences. And I said, I know there's no lines on here, and so that makes you want to think that you're going to start drawing, but we're almost 2nd graders, so we need to start writing more. So this is what they did for working on writing, was they did a story map that went with our interactive read out loud. After we did our groups, we came to the carpet with their books, and we were using our books as our desks. So we have to write a how-to paragraph for our last writing sample for assessment for the district, and so we need to practice those how-to paragraphs. So I just gave them a piece of paper, and we folded it in half, and then I showed them a video. I showed them the video one time, not telling them anything, just to watch the video. And then the second time, I actually played it 3 times. The second and third time, they were supposed to get how-to steps on how to take care of a puppy. So right here, we just wrote down how to take care of a puppy, and then as they read, or as they watched the video the second time and third time, they had to get ideas of how to take care of a puppy. And then we'll use these for our writing tomorrow. So this is, I think I made it. I think I found something and then I switched the lines, or I don't know what I did this. So this is a little bit of somebody else and a little bit of me, but I don't remember where it came from. So I think I snipped it off of something and I took away things, or I added something to it so that way it fit with what we needed. And then I just found this. It says wiki how, and then it says how to take care of puppies. And we watched it 3 times and we wrote our list of ways to take care of a puppy. Tomorrow, we're going to let me tell you how to take care of a puppy first, and then they're going to write down one of their things that they have to do, another way to take care of the puppy, and then also, and that's all going to come from their little books that they did from watching the video, and then these are the ways that you can take care of a puppy. And so that's going to be our paragraph for our writing. The story has vocabulary now that's built into the story. The other times it was called oral vocabulary or something like that, where it wasn't in a story, we just taught the vocabulary word. I like to have the vocabulary words inside the story. So in Unit 4 on, the stories have vocabulary words in them. So this week it was clever and signal. This just comes from Wonders Again. I just snipped it and put it inside my slide. And then we went over vocabulary, and this was a story that we listened to today. So they didn't read it, they listened to it today, but we also worked on asking questions. Today's like a day of I don't know where the things come from. I'll see if I can find it and link it below, but we worked on asking questions because I tell them that readers ask and answer questions, but we're going to work on the asking part today. So we watched a quick video, and the video just had what the question words were, and I wrote them down. I said, okay, we're going to try to ask some questions that go with this story. So I just went first page, read the title, and then I asked if there are any questions we have about, this page. And so they came up with, how do dogs help? And so we wrote it down and then turned the page, looked at it, and then I said, there are any questions? We can't use how. And so then said, who's the dog's owner? That was the question they had. And then I turned the page. We didn't read it or anything. We just looked at the picture, talked about the picture, and asked if there's any questions. And then they said, why is the dog in the audience? Because in the story, it's about guide dogs and how they have to be used to different settings. And so it shows a dog sitting in a crowd in the audience, just watching its favorite team. That's what it said in the caption. So that was the question. After that, we didn't read it, we listened to it, and while they were listening, we asked the questions. They were looking for the answers to the question. So this is what we worked on while we were listening to it. So the page where we asked, how do dogs help? We listened to it. Did it answer the question? No, so we kept on listening. And then when we did find an answer to one of our questions, we wrote it down. So how do dogs help? It says dogs help with hard tasks like getting high objects. It was inside the text. We listened to it and found the answer. Who's the dog's owner? On one of the pages, it said that was going to blind or deaf people will own the dog, and so we wrote that down. And then the last one was, why was the dog in the audience? And inside the text, it talked about how the dogs have to get used to settings if like where their owners are going to be. So we talked about how the dog is getting used to a crowd. Something we didn't get to was writing. This is journal writing. That's new in my day. I put it at the end, that way if we don't get to it, it really doesn't matter, because tomorrow's slide will be a different prompt and it will just keep moving forward. But I bought this on TPT when it was having the sale because I did want to add journal writing, and I ended up buying, so this is the one I bought. So it says primary writing journal prompts September through May, so it's a whole bundle. And then I also bought during the sale when I was on vacation, well, Thelma, but a year of math journals. So I started to do math journals also. So for the math journals, half piece of paper, this is the one we did today. I gave them 5 minutes to do it, and then we went over it. It's just one problem a day. It should be review, somewhat simple. So this is what we did today. I read the prompt to them twice, and I said, okay, you do it. And then after, we went over it. A lot of friends, Sam has 3 kites. Each kite has 7 bows. How many bows are there all together? So I did have many of friends say 3 + 7 = 10. And then after we drew it, because they were supposed to draw math, write math, and give me a math answer. And so after we drew it, they were like, oh, because the friends that said 3 + 10, after we drew it, they started to, oh, I'm wrong. Or 3 + 7 = 10, they were, oh, I'm wrong. And a lot of them said, well, there's an extra space, but they didn't think that they were wrong, even though there was an extra space. And then for journal writing, I didn't get to it, but they have their journals inside their cubby. So we're just going to use no drawing, no coloring, just writing, and I'm going to give them a couple of minutes to do the journal prompt at the end of the day. So we'll see if we get to it tomorrow, but that's what I'm adding. I'm adding journal, math journal. This we did after lunch, and then writing journal we'll do at the end of the day. So my kids are home, so I don't have to rush anywhere. I need to get homework done, so I need to do my fluency for homework, and I need to do my high frequency words. So I have those 2 things to do. And that's just gonna be a quick switch around, and that's it. So that was my Monday. We got to everything I wanted to get, except for my journal writing, which no big deal. But I do want to focus on getting more writing in and showing them not everything goes with the drawing. I know the drawings help capture them and helps bring out the ideas, but sometimes they just need to write. And especially with my journal, how it has that prompt on it and it has actually the words on top, and so it gives them ideas of what to write about. That's going to help. So at my AR, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 friends that took tests and passed. I have my six. And so I have my 2 friends that I really don't push any tests whatsoever because they're not there yet. And then I have my 4 that they're starting to read, they're getting there. And so I make sure that they try to take a test, but it's not, they don't have to pass it. They need to try. They need to attempt. I want to see them read a book and try to take a test. And since they're reading with me, they kind of have an advantage because I can help them sound out words, and I do ask them little questions. And so if they attempt a test, I marked it down as they took their test for the week. Everyone else needs to pass a test. So I had 7 friends that already did it, 8 friends that already took a test this week. That was my Monday. I think I'll try to post this today because I haven't had a video in 2 weeks, maybe 1 week, I don't remember. And I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.